So let's, speaking of which, let's check in on some climate change.
What?
It's the new COVID. It's the next COVID. Yeah,
climate change. All right, so this is.
Well, let me bring this one. You're the Pope guy.
Okay,
you do the Pope guy.
All right,
you're the Pope guy.
Yeah, way to shill me out there, buddy.
I'm just saying we didn't plan this earlier.
Expose me. It's from our secret meeting.
Yes, Gonz is Gonz is the Pope. He's the actual Pope.
I'm the Pope.
He's very tricky. What a perfect place for the Pope to hide in plain sight as a fringe independent podcaster who talks about the Pope. All right, but not the Pope now. Pope, settle down. This is coming from independent.co.uk. The headline:
Russian propaganda.
Yeah. Oh, right. So remember, independent.co.uk, owned by Russian oligarch and Saudi sultan or whatever.
Right.
Has something to say. And the headline goes like this: microplastics found in human blood for first time in extremely concerning study. That is very extremely concerning, but surprising that it's the first time. But okay.
See, I thought we had already reported on something like this, but it was actually microplastics in the conversation with Antarctica or ice sheets and stuff like that.
We talk about. Right. So to connect it to what we have talked about in the past with microplastics are a big problem in a lot of the world. Of course, Antarctica, there's tons of microplastic. The ocean, fish eat it. There was microplastics found in food. But let's talk about the next place microplastics have been found. The world's largest make this even bigger.
Oh no, what happened to something? I used to have this not in front of a paywall, but it looks like I got a paywall here.
Oh, weird.
On my end. Go ahead.
I'm fine. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they just got your
my IP or something.
Your IP locked down.
Yep.
The world's first study to look for the presence of plastics in human blood detected particles in 77% of those tested. New research.
It's a sign they're going after God's people. That's what this is all about.
Something. PET plastic, most commonly used to produce drink bottles, food packaging, and clothes, was the most prevalent form of plastic in the human bloodstream. The authors said plastic particles can enter the body from the air as well as through food and drink. Dick Vatrak, professor of ecotoxicology and water quality at the health at the Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam in the Netherlands, told The Independent. The findings were, quote, certainly alarming because it shows that people apparently digest or inhale so much plastic that it can be
ingest or inhale,
ingest or inhale.
Digest too, but yeah.
So much plastic that it can be found in the bloodstream. Such particles can cause chronic inflammation. The research team tested the blood of 22 people for 5 types of plastic. These were polymethyl methylcrylate, polypropylene. I'm just going to do the acronyms: PMMA, PP, PS, PE, and PET. Some 17 of the blood donors carried a quantifiable mass of plastic
17
particles.
Of the 22, yeah.
17 of 77%. I'm trying to see if they claimed that this was like a big study.
They did.
Not. Did they?
At least at the top, didn't they?
I thought they said it was like the biggest study, but I'm looking now and I'm not seeing
breakthrough research. That's what they called it at the top in the subheading.
Breakthrough research, world's first study. Okay. So 22 people, pretty small study. I don't even know if it's technically a study, but okay. After PET, polyester, which is used to make a wide variety of household products, was the most commonly found plastic in the blood samples tested. The third most widely found plastic in the blood was polyethylene, a material regularly used in the production of plastic carrier bags. Up to 3 different types of plastic in a single blood sample were measured, the scientists said. PET was found in the bloodstream of 50% of those who were tested, while polyester were found present in 36%. Professor Vitak said, quote, "This research found that almost 8 in 10 of people tested had plastic particles in their blood." Why didn't you just say 17
out of 22 isn't good enough. Almost 8 in 10.
We got to
sounds more dramatic.
Reduce that fraction.
Yeah.
But it doesn't tell us what's a safe or unsafe level of plastic particle presence. Oh, see, Gonz, there's a safe amount of plastic you can have floating around in your blood. Quote, "How much is too much? We urgently need to fund further research so we can find out."
Means? You know what that means? Blood surveillance, baby. Watching your blood, making sure your blood is free of all the microplastics.
As our exposure to plastic particles increases, we have a right to know what it's doing to our bodies.
We need the data. Give us the data, the data.
Yeah. Well, and again, you have, we urgently need to fund research, right? So we got a call for funding. This was more of like a proof of concept study to get funding to do a bigger study, but also connecting it. We have a right to know what is going on with our body, sort of connecting the funding of their research with, human rights, with the, existential rights that every person has, which I'm not saying it's not, but I am saying it is a very effective way to get your lab funded. Professor Vitak said he had cut down his own exposure to plastics as a result of his research projects. He told The Independent, "Yes, my family tries to avoid the use of single-use plastics as much as possible, especially food contact plastics and food and drinks packaged in plastics." He added, quote, "Good ventilation of the house is important because microplastic concentrations appear to be higher indoors than outdoors." Okay, yeah, probably didn't need a study to say that, but okay. "I also cover my food and drinks to reduce the deposition of plastic particles."
What do you cover it with, doctor?
Yeah, not plastic. There are, have you ever seen those like beeswax cloths?
Yeah.
I have some of those. They're the worst things in the world. They don't work at all. But it's okay because at least I'm not eating plastics. Hopefully beeswax is not a problem, though. The study was, let's see here. There are several things you can do to reduce your exposure to plastic particles. The study was commissioned by Common Seas, a pressure group calling for an end to the enormous amount of waste plastic going into the world's oceans. The organization's chief executive, Joy Royal, said, quote, "This finding is extremely concerning. We are already eating, drinking, and breathing in plastic. It's in the deepest sea trench and on top of Mount Everest, and yet plastic production is set to double by 2040. Quote, "We have a right to know what all this plastic is doing to our bodies, which is why we're asking business, government, and philanthropists around the world to fund urgent further research into clarifying our understanding of the health impacts of plastic via National Plastic Health Impact Research Fund. The research is published in the Journal of Environmental International." There you go, Gonz. We got plastic in our blood.
It's going to be
we don't know. It might be fine.
Plastic.
There's something there. Plastemic.
I
think that's not quite as catchy as we need it to be.
It's not as great, but yeah, something to that effect.
Yeah, it's, I suppose it's not surprising. The most surprising thing about this article was that this is the first time that it was found in the bloodstream. Now, I'm no blood scientist.
There's a lot of stuff in your bloodstream, though, isn't there?
What little I know, I mean, when you're talking microplastics, this has to be micro. Yeah. Like you're talking like individual floating particles, not like lumps
chunks
of plastic.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the way I understand it, you eat something, goes into your little tum-tum, then it goes down into some tubing. You got some big coily tubing down there, and then it absorbs through the walls of the tubing after it's been broken down into its sort of individual constituent, nutrients and things. And then those things, on a sort of a molecular basis, get put into the bloodstream. So somehow plastic is making its way through our intestines, like through the walls of our intestines. I don't even know, how does it get, when it's out of the intestines, how does it get into the blood? I don't know, man. I need to talk to a blood scientist. But it doesn't, my understanding of the plumbing, I don't know how plastic would even get through unless it came in a different way. Some sort of intravenous thing, some sort of solution being stabbed into your bloodstream. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I'm just saying it would be nice to know if these 22 individuals, or at least the 17 of them, had recently had some sort of medical intervention.
Mm-hmm. State-sponsored medical intervention.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. What are those other people doing that they didn't have the plastics?
They should interview the 5 people that didn't have any microplastics and really drill down on what they're doing instead of complaining about what they found with the 17 that did.
Right. I'm finding it hard to believe that 23% of people are not having contact with plastics.
Yeah, it's everywhere. I don't know.
It's an interesting idea. Mm-hmm. Look, we shouldn't be on YouTube. This is going to get us in trouble on YouTube. But the 77% number, I'm just going to say, corresponds pretty closely to a certain other percentage number that has gotten a lot of, attention over the past couple of years. That 77% of people are safe from certain things that other people aren't. This is at least an approximation of that group of people,
Mm-hmm. The remaining 33%.
No, that's a funny little trick, though. 77% does not leave 33%. It leaves 23%.
Oh, that's right.
I know it gets me every time too. No, I'm talking about, Biden was just bragging that, something around 70% of people were fully vaccinated in the U.S. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Let's move on.